Alrighty, I am back. The boys are vetoing as we are getting very close to starting Reynor versus MaxPax. I see a lot of channel points being wagered. That makes me happy. That gets me excited. Big shout out to Athena once more for 5 more gifted subs. Athena has won the California State Lottery by the looks of it. And that makes me very happy. You deserve it, Athena. Couldn't have happened to a better human. Thank you, J Power Matey, for the 23 months with the tier 3. Reynor is ready, MaxPax is ready. I'll give you guys the map order quickly if I have it. I actually don't have it. I just know that we start off on ley lines, and the second map will be Lost and Found. Reynor was very happy to see Lost and Found. He's got very fond memories of it. That game against Classic, guys. If you're ever bored, I don't know if there is a VOD somewhere, but Reynor Classic, when Reynor was just a young, sweet Italian boy. I think he was only 15 back then. That is one of the best StarCraft 2 games that I've ever seen. At least in my memory. Maybe if I look back at it, it's less good. But anybody that's watched that live will probably think like, holy smokes, what a game that was. Yep. I'm totally ready. Max is ready. Reynor is ready. Reynor is on a solid win streak over MaxPax. He has won the last 9 times they played against each other. But Max obviously is as active as ever. Reynor has played a lot of League of Legends. And on top of that, new map pool, new patch. How does PvZ look between these two? I have no idea, but I'm very excited for this one. Let's do it. Thank you so much to Plasmodium as well for the 5 gifted subbies. What a Friday, what a night. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Round 1, fight!
In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of the best Protoss player on this planet. As there will be a couple maps in there that he hasn't seen in a long time. This one, I don't know how much of the PTR he's played, but we know he's been active in the KSR Cups. So this is definitely not his first rodeo, but there aren't many Zergs in those KSR Cups, especially not of the caliber of his opponent. This is Storm Gaming's very own MaxPax. And in the top right side, I asked him last week and he said I can't play this Friday because I'll be in London watching the League of Legends World Championships, but I can play the following Friday. And when I said, who would you like to play? He said, doesn't matter. It can be anyone. I was like, MaxPax? He's like, of course, I'm not afraid. I was like, okay. Big talks for a man who's been cooking up a lot of things in the Summoner's Rift, but he was not afraid and he's ready to show us that he's still got it. It is Basilisk Reynor. How does PvZ look between these two on these maps and on this patch? I'm very curious. I'm also very curious to see if MaxPax is still in love with the oracles in high level PvZ, or if we might see some glaive openings, if we might see some Archon drops perhaps even. What are my thoughts on the disruptor change? I'm okay with it. I'm just kind of okay with everything. I think I've given up a little bit on all these debates because people get so heated, they get so angry at each other. I'm stepping away from it a little bit. I'll see in the end what they cook up. I'll see what the final version of this patch will look like. And then I'm going to play a bunch of games, watch a bunch of games, and then we'll see where we go. Serral has played in the Big Brain Bouts as well 2 weeks ago against ShoWTime. If you do ! Basilisk, you can see those series back. Serral versus ShoWTime. It's posted on the YouTube. Of course, this one will be uploaded on the YouTube channel as well. Probably within a couple days. That is the only official series that Serral has played on this version. Will there be a major tournament soon? Home Story Cup is coming up. ! HSC at the end of the month in Krefeld. We'll all be going once more to that random German city and have a great weekend of StarCraft 2 offline action. I'm sure that will be played on the new patch and on the new maps. And we're getting closer and closer. 3 weeks away. And we of course hope that Reynor will be there too. It is an adept opening for Max. It is an Oracle first out of the Stargate. So far he is doing the same thing as Sabadas tried to do against Mixer. As I feel like this is the highest amount of channel points wagered on anything in a little while on my channel. There are 3.2 million channel points on the line. That's pretty insane. People are sick and tired apparently of gambling on MaxPax versus Clem with the channel points, but Reynor Max, that's what gets the people going. I do want to mention one more time that because we are playing these games on the European server, we are playing on the latest update of the PTR, but we're playing on the European server to give the players low ping. But because of that, there is no game art, so you guys will not see the little pop-up of amount of workers that go down on the left side. I cannot show you guys an income graph, for instance. If you guys ever feel like you want to see something, how many drones just died there, how many probes went down, just ask me. And we can, the only way to look at it is like this, is shift down. Oracle of Max active as always, and actually finds 3 workers. Does take a bit of a beating there. One single hit of the Spore Crawler, the equivalent of the ultimate of Vindicta. Basically, you dead immediately. Second Oracle takes a lot of damage as well. Even MaxPax struggles keeping them Oracles healthy on this patch. And that's why, guys, I say all the things that I keep on saying. I just can't imagine that this is the only thing we'll see for such a long time. Yeah, maybe the Protoss players just love having that bit of vision, having that safety at home, and they'll be okay. Energy recharge got used there on the Oracle that's very low on HP, so Max needs to be careful. There's a bunch of adepts we'll show to the other side of the map as well. Reynor doesn't have a lot of units out. 16 lings on the way, a couple of them are about to hatch. So far, MaxPax has not dropped a single unit yet. As the queens are going to chase away these adepts. That does mean that the shade finishes up, and this is where Reynor will end up losing a few more drones. But of course, MaxPax is in danger of losing all of these adepts. I gotta say, the adept positioning is really good. So he actually keeps them relatively healthy for a while. Cancels the shade. MaxPax kind of cooking here in game 1 of ley lines. Sure, these adepts may fall, but I think they've already done their job. The Oracle show up one more time at the third. Reynor is now realizing that, you know, it's not just one hero that you have to look at. It's a whole bunch of different bases. 10 drones, 22 links. It's not the end of the world, but I think MaxPax overall pretty happy. Oracle still alive, and a proper disruption of the flow of Reynor's economy. Lost mining time, of course, as well. That's something I can show you guys because the income graph is a blot. I wonder how many games Reynor has played on ley lines. I know he's played in one of the online cups, but hey, this is updated, by the way. There's now a little thingy around the mineral patch. This wasn't there before, guys. Updates! So you can still obviously mine this up, but it takes a little while. This mineral patch spawns with 150 minerals, and until you mine out those 150 minerals, you cannot take the rich Vespine, guys. Those bastards have a low team now. We are actually not active in any games right now. We obviously just have StarCraft, and we do have a Magic the Gathering creator. We've got a scientist streamer, but we have currently no teams in any other games like Valorant or League, etc. That may change in the future, but for now, just StarCraft 2. If we ever get into deadlock, though, I'll be the captain, the MVP. I want to get mixed in. I want to take Lambo from Shopify. We're going to dominate that scene, baby. MaxPax moving out with a bunch of stalkers. The +1 is done. He's already here. He's got a few sentries in the mix as well. Reynor's army right now, it is not small. 74 army supply. You want to say that he's put up a bit of a fight, but Reynor needs to be careful. He's setting up a surround, but there are stasis trapped Reynor. Reynor knows that. So the first stasis trap is activated. The second one gets a couple of the roaches and links. He's losing a lot on the right side as MaxPax has bought a lot of time with those force fields, with those stasis traps. In the end, though, we're still on creep. Does Reynor have enough firepower to deal with all these blinky boys of Max as one of the oracles gets sniped by the queens? Honestly, kinda has enough, but at the same time, not really, right? Reynor is down 10 workers. MaxPax working on +2. MaxPax has a Robo Bay as he's going up to 4 bases as well. I just don't think it's good enough for Reynor. Not a whole lot of creep going. More stasis trap is going up in the center and fighting these blink stalkers in this choke point. This is going to get harder and harder for the Italian stallion. Reynor sets up another surround, but there is another big stasis trap for Max. Now a lot of links and roaches are still left. Reynor will grab a couple of these stalkers, and some of them are very low on HP. So good fight by the Italian stallion in the end, as MaxPax does save those final 2-3 low HP stalkers. Don't forget that first Colossus is about to come out, and we may not have extended thermal lens, but that's gonna make MaxPax's life so much easier against all them links. Reynor not really cooking in the way that he can casually drop an infestation pit and a HeroMarine and fire up that hive and get a couple lurkers and vipers. He knows that, so he's gonna hit us with some roaches and tunneling claws. That's kind of cool. Also feels like kind of temporary. Reynor has snuck a few units to the top left side. Is it first just going to reveal the Zerglings? Maybe he's waiting for a little warp in and that's when he wants to show up with the roaches as well. But that's a lot of supply that Reynor has in the top left. Eventually Reynor is going to have to put that to good use, but I guess he wants to wait until Burrow is done and tunneling claws. There's a few more force fields from a single sentry. Perhaps energy recharge used on that one. Reynor now forced to reveal all those units he's got on the other side of the map. Here come the roaches, here come Zerglings. But this is not a fight that Reynor wins right now. MaxPax got way too much firepower here. Reynor needs a lot of extra units to show up. Extended Turbulence not done yet. This is where Reynor does get on top of multiple bases though. Roaches in the natural, roaches in the main base. The Zerglings, I want to say they kind of got taken care of, but we've got Burrow. So Reynor can actually drag this out for a long time. Unfortunately for Reynor, that's not a Colossus, but a War Prism. Roaches burrowed in the main base as well, and this is when he reveals these Zerglings one more time. Honestly, beautiful multitasking here by Reynor, but I still think it's just not quite good enough. At least not yet. Maybe eventually it will be, but at the moment it feels like it's not good enough. Reynor is an absolute master in these kinds of situations where you are forced to look at 4 or 5 different bases. And that is what Reynor is trying to do. He is once more trying to out-multitask MaxPax. This army of MaxPax is a lot stronger than this little army of Reynor. This is where Reynor needs to disengage and hope that some of those units that he left behind burrowed in the natural or main base can create a little more chaos. But without hive tech, I just don't think it's possible. In the end, Max had an answer for those Zerglings in the third, for those roaches and roaches in the main and natural. And without Vipers, I just don't really see an easy way for Reynor to kill these Colossus. Maybe if there was no observer, he could burrow his army. Might get one here as MaxPax perhaps dropped the ball a tiny bit, but a War Prism sneaks into the main base. And this is where life becomes hell for those Zerg players. You simply don't have enough, you don't really have the firepower to take a great fight anywhere. And after a lot of trading, a lot of back and forth and a lot of multitasking, I'm pretty confident in saying that game 1 is going to go MaxPax's way. Even though Reynor has done a very good job in beating up this economy of MaxPax too. It's still 52 war workers on the side of Max against 46 on the side of Reynor. One more Oracle will get picked off. The lair in the main base is going down. That means that we are never ever going to see a hive. Even though at this point Reynor didn't have the economy anymore to even dream about it. He's gonna take... Is this the first time? No, that's not the first time. Second time he's gonna try to take this Rich Raspin Geyser. The observers came in very, very handy for Max. Maybe this is one of these moments where the extra energy on the oracles can also make a big difference, right? Because in the past, if you don't have observers and you need to drop revelation here, there, everywhere, then sometimes you don't have enough detection to deal with all these burrowed units. Perhaps another situation where energy recharge can be very useful. Colossus with extended thermal lens at this point from the low ground, frying a couple of drones, once more getting on top of this Rich Raspin Geyser. 4 Archons in the mix as well, guys, and 2 more Archons are morphing. And these are all Archons with +3 as Reynor sets up one more tiny roach run by on MaxPax. He's got detection everywhere, he's got an answer for it, he's got a strong army. This is, I want to say, not doable, not even for Reynor, but Reynor is going to try. He does grab those 2 Archons on the left. The biggest problem is still the main army. It doesn't have these overwhelming amounts of roaches that you need to have to even dream about taking a good fight. MaxPax can kite, MaxPax can micro, and Reynor is just running out of steam. Oops, accidentally maybe shot at one of his own units there, but it's all good. After 13 minutes, it is the Prince of Denmark, MaxPax, who takes the 1-0 lead over Reynor. Hello, Josh. Yes, tomorrow night, for the first time, or well, for the second time ever, but for the first time since we had dinner there, We're gonna have a little early birthday dinner with Vicky and my family at that sushi place in RotterdaM. Only the second time that I'm going there. I'm excited, mate. It was very good the first time. We always wanted to go back. And tomorrow we'll go. Mom is coming, Dad's coming, Grandma's coming, my brother. Probably Jax as well. It's gonna be great. Ringen says he's now 12 wins and 11 losses in Deadlock ranked. Snuck a couple games in, mate, right before the end. Thank you so much to Basilisk for once more giving us 10 subbies. We even have 2 more games after this one. Let's see, Lost and Found is a map that I think Reynor really thrives on. He was happy to see it. It's a map that he's had great results on in the past. I mean, last game was obviously an interesting one. And I think Leylines is one that really requires a lot of practice. Felt that MaxPax just felt a little more at home at it. A great job with the sentries, the stasis trap is in the center. I think the Colossus follow-up, a lot of people sleep on the Colossus in PvZ. I recently read on Reddit that Colossus is trash and you should never make it against Zerg. Well, I don't think it's all that black and white. I think there are many moments where the Colossus can be great. Is it a best of 5? Yes. Everything in the Big Brain Bouts is always best of 5. This is map 2. We have loaded in. For a few people who are confused, of course this is live. Everything on this channel is always live. I don't do replays. I don't make the players play earlier. It is live.
Round 2. Fight!
Heaven popped off with that one. I think Heaven has a lot of correct takes. I read that one, but he wasn't the only one, to be fair. There were many other. I wasn't thinking of Heaven. I wouldn't try to blast my boy. But yeah, that is one where I would disagree with Heaven. Because I think Colossus are good in this matchup. Now, of course, there are moments where they fall flat on their face, but I think there is a lot of potential in the Colossus. You're hungry for more BBB matches? Thanks for the invite this week. I hope to play in more. I gotta work on my nerves. I have so much more to show. I know, mate. We'll make it up, mate. I know that tonight was also out of your own hands. We'll do it again. No sweat. In the bottom left side of Lost and Found, the man who's up 1-0. Psystorm Gaming's very own MaxPax. You thought the PTR was US only? That is correct. We are not playing on the PTR, we are playing on the regular Battle.net server. But on the regular Battle.net there is a mod that basically resembles everything that is the PTR. The only difference is that there is no game heart. So you guys don't see the dead workers, I cannot show an income graph. This is regular Battle.net but on the PTR version, if that makes any sense. It's updated, guys, I promise. Top right side of Lost and Found, the man is down 0-1, but still played, I think, a pretty damn sexy game. Had a lot of great moments, great multitasking. It is the Italian stallion representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. He's on a 9 series win streak over this man, and I think that's very impressive. And that is across multiple different versions of StarCraft 2, different map pools as well. They obviously don't play against each other all the time like Clem and MaxPax do. Reynor a little bit less active in the tiny online tournament scene. Saves himself in general for the big ones. MaxPax won game 1. That's why the score says 1 for MaxPax and 0 for Reynor. There is a scoreboard, mate. It works. It's accurate. You know, once in 100 games, I'm gonna accidentally have the wrong score, but most of the time, it's pretty on point. Everybody makes mistakes. A Void Ray? Hey, look at that, guys. A Stargate into a Void Ray. Just for fun, mate, let it go. First of all, I don't think it's that weird. The thing is, mate, you are a diehard StarCraft fan, because I know you're here very often, and I see you in other channels too. There are many people who are not diehards. If somebody asks us, is this live? And you say, no, it's a replay. Like, that may be innocent fun for you. But for some people, that's confusing. So it's actually better to delete those kind of messages, to not spread misinformation, and to also show a tiny bit of respect to the people that don't watch StarCraft 24/7 and don't know everything. What is very obvious for some of us is not that obvious for others. Let it go. Zerglings get us around on the adepts of Max. First adept goes down, second one, I actually think you can maybe get a cancel. That's a close call, but Void Rays are not known for their incredibly high DPS. That is a cancel. Great start here for Reynor. And this is, I guess, why people prefer Oracles over Void Rays. Energy recharge gets used, so MaxPax going Void Ray into Oracle and then uses energy recharge on this Oracle. Yeah, excellent Zergling movement by Reynor. If it was any other Zerg, I'd be losing my mind, but from Reynor, I expect nothing else. As he saves that drone very quickly. Max's Oracle perhaps in a tiny bit of a pickle. There's a Spore Crawler here as well. Needs to recall it. Great job. Ooh, he's hitting us with the Fleet Beacon and the second Stargate. Maybe some Tempest play, maybe a Mothership, who knows. Do you think Oracle into Void Ray is generally slightly better because of the recharge cooldown? I mean, I think it's also always nice to switch it up, and MaxPax clearly did it for a reason. He wanted to kill that Overlord very quickly to keep Reynor in the dark and make it harder for Reynor to scout this. So I think it all comes down to execution. Oracle takes a lot of damage. Obviously can't recall it. Void Ray goes really deep for that. Queen does get it. Queen could maybe turn around, but MaxPax's micro is also really good. Now the Void Ray though is in a bit of a pickle. In the end, MaxPax saves both the units. I wonder, guys, do you guys think that Reynor is already thinking about carriers? Because obviously he hasn't seen any Zealots being warped in. He hasn't seen any Adepts being warped in. And Oracle into Void or Void into Oracle often does mean that the Protoss is trying to hide something. This could be a big scout if he sees the cybernetic score, because +1 is being researched. So if Reynor would have just gone forward and he would have seen the cybercore spinning, I feel like that would have been pretty big. Quick carriers on the side of Max, as these two adepts are going to shade into this base at 3 o'clock. Again, very sweet adept positioning, but this time Reynor's got more than enough Zerglings and Queens to take care of this. Since Reynor is only getting +1 melee, he hasn't dropped a Roach Warren. I think he's got a pretty good idea what he's playing against. What about Hydra straight into Hydra Dash? If he wasn't certain yet, I want to say he's about to see it. No, Reynor maybe caught a tiny glimpse of it there, but I was so sure that I'm not sure if even Reynor saw it. What Reynor will see obviously here is the spinning cybernetic score. Hasn't seen any Stalkers, hasn't seen a War Prism, hasn't seen any Archons harassing him. So at this point he should absolutely know. Queen count is 6, it is about to go into 10, Spore Crawler count is 5. I mean, Spore's got a one-shot interceptor, so pretty much at this point, right? Hello ZG, thanks for the raid. I hope you had fun playing Deadlock. We gotta play again soon. Maybe Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, let's play a couple game pieces. I wanna see that ZG raid in action, and congrats on the win. MaxPax his first 2 carriers and not getting too much done. They go now even deep into the main base, might get a queen. And I feel like, guys, that this game is not really going anywhere for Max. The work account doesn't look bad. I just don't really see him get 4 bases anytime soon, as slow bailings for Reynor make it deep into this middle line. Oh my god, MaxPax got no answer for this. It is gonna take so incredibly long for the Prince of Denmark to clean this up. Does use energy recharge one more time on the Oracle. That was already 11 workers going down. I kind of thought it was a bit worse. This is obviously important that Reynor doesn't lose every single queen, but I just don't see him losing the queens against a couple carriers. He's got all those Spore Crawlers to fall back to. At this point, MaxPax basically bullying a Roddy, where he's like, you know what, I'll try to win it on 2 bases. And that can work if you got like no Warp Gate and +3 done at this point, but with +1 carriers, I don't think you're killing 10+ queens and all these spores. I think that's a little too much. Trading out a base for a base is fine for Reynor, like it's still gonna be 3 bases against 2. Spire gets dropped. I'm kind of curious where he's building that Spire. Yeah, in the bottom of the, well, now 3rd base. Spore Crawler power over here for Reynor. The buffed Spore. Spores obviously have a little bit less HP as the Zerglings are keeping him busy. MaxPax gonna reinforce with Void Rays. Because I think at this point, guys, MaxPax is done trying to expand. I think he's just gonna try to make this snowball. Reynor still has this base as well, but it's exposed. I will say, these carriers are becoming a little bit problematic. And they've actually done a whole lot more than I thought they would, as they're gonna snipe all these drones as well. 7 queens against 4 carriers with +1, +2 on the way. Now a couple voids coming in. Reynor is gonna try to maybe force MaxPax to pay a little more attention to what's happening at home. To cancel this. The Spore Crawlers, guys, melting a little bit as now Void Rays show up as well. Void Rays will have prismatic alignment. One of the voids very low. Reynor desperately needs that Spire, but at this point you could even say once he gets that Spire, he barely has any money to make Corruptus. The good news for Reynor is that MaxPax is very, very low on Interceptors. And Interceptors cost money, and Reynor is down to 2, excuse me, Max is down to 2 bases. Reynor not seeing this Nexus, by the way, is omega painful. MaxPax had 0 units defending this. If Reynor would have split off a single Zergling, he would have seen it, he could have clicked around. Instead, he was bashing his head into the Stalker Sentry battery. Oh man. If Reynor ends up losing this game, that's a painful one. Because this base was not supposed to come online. Not now, at least. Not with all those carriers on the other side of the map. MaxPax's Oracle takes a little look at this hatchery at 12 o'clock. This is the first time that Reynor checks it, and he now sees that it's done, and he's probably wondering, uh-oh, how long did you have that? Queen count at 12? And once these carriers are gonna get +2 though, guys. This is really a game changer. I'm not sure how I feel about the 4 random Void Rays. It's a wild game. Reynor is now getting all the hatcheries. One in the bottom right side. That one is going to get cancelled. He's going to take the original triangle again as well. Don't know about this. There's Fungo available as well for Reynor. No, Reynor attacked his own Spore there with all the queens for a split second. Drops the Ultralisk Cavern. I don't think you have Ultralisk Cavern money. I think that's a crazy one. Couple of Banelings will connect with the Zealots, so that at least gives Reynor one less thing to worry about. The Lings are waiting as Micro Bio Shroud. For the first time I get to see it. Now it sticks to the units, guys. If you now drop it, it sticks to the units. It is no longer just a thing that's stuck on the ground. You can drop it on your units and it moves with your units. Similar to that one hero in Dota. I forgot the name of it. That had the ultimate with the big armor thing. The little troll with the scepter. Troll? Something like that? I don't know. I played it a lot. Fun hero. That's what I thought of when I read the balance change. Dazzle. Yeah. Dazzle's ultimate. That's kind of like Micro Bio Shroud is right now. I'm surprised by the Ultras, guys. Not that I think it's bad against Skytals. It's obviously not. Especially because MaxPax, his carriers will also have a hard time making their way through Chitinous Plating and +2 Carapace. It's just that Reynor has not been that rich. And if you're not that rich, investing in Ultras that obviously don't shoot up is a bit risky. Because we are playing on Europe ambidex. Reynor has lost 30 drones. MaxPax has lost 23 probes. From here on out, if somebody else can explain that to people in the chat, that'd be nice. Cause I've said it like 100 times. Some people watch this on YouTube and they're gonna wish they were deaf if I have to repeat that one more time. Storms land on the Queens, but obviously Micro Bio Shroud once more doing its thing. 57 workers for Max, 67 for Reynor. That's probably a good thing that we're playing on Europe though, since Reynor, his ping to the American servers is not that great. And it's way more fun to see these guys just play at the best of their abilities. MaxPax probably wondering, like, how the hell did I end up here? And what is this for a game? Do I like it? Like, you look at your supplier, 173, you're like, okay. +3 air weapons on the way now. Obviously an expensive upgrade. Reynor, his Ultralisk count is 5. I guess these Ultras can also benefit from the Infestor upgrade. It means that they will literally never die. There's a couple of Overlords have found that mothership. Maybe MaxPax thought about a recall. Cybernetics core gets blown up by Zerglings and Banelings. And that means +3 air weapons gets denied. MaxPax could hit us with a tactical recall. Reynor is... Oh my god, that's so many queens by the way. 15 queens. A Viper as well. Parasitic Bomb is going to be a thing. I want to say I like Reynor's army. Reynor's got a lot of money in the bank for a man that's not quite maxed out yet. But maybe he's just not totally certain what he wants to spend it on. As the Ultras and Queens will get on top of this 4th base. These Ultras are going to be so tanky because you can cash the Infestor ability on them as well. MaxPax, is he going to hit us with one big tactical recall? And it's going to make it obviously a little bit different. Hello? Mama ship? What are we up to? Here come the spores. Max wondering, should I stay or should I go? Archon count's only pretty high. Archons have +2 as well. Now Tempest on the production tab. Big stasis trap landing on all of the queens. Recall gets used, I guess, for the mothership. Yep, we're going to use the mothership at home. Here come the Vipers as well. What a fight as Cloaking gets used. Time Warp gets used. But MaxPax gets absolutely blasted on the ground. 5, 6, 7 Archons, it doesn't matter. The mothership dies. Reynor's obviously losing a lot of units as well, but these Ultras are going to be really, really tanky. And MaxPax got no economy left. Down to a 2-base Protoss. 16 minutes into Lost and Found. Now Reynor spends some of that money. Fires up 11 Corruptors. Has lost most of his anti-air, to be fair. I want to say it's almost a good thing for Reynor that he killed that Cybercore earlier. Well, it's obviously always a good thing, but I'd be pretty concerned, man, if Reynor would have to deal with +3 carriers and Tempest at this point. These slow queens do get caught off creep, and quite a few of them are gonna go down. Few Void Rays, they don't have Flux Range, but they will deal a lot of damage. Obviously what Reynor could do is just click all the Ultras to the other side of the map, and then MaxPax is in danger of being eliminated. Reynor might just do that. How many spores are left? 6. Not that many. Corruptor count is okay, it's high enough. Even if we don't have any upgrades for these Corruptors, guys, if we get like 19 or 20 Corruptors and Reynor is very closing in on these fights, that should be good enough, right? Even though it's +2 carriers, but love the carriers alone HP. There is a Viper, the Loco maneuver to finish it off, dropping a Parabomb on top of this Sky Toss army, moving the Corruptors on top of it. And that means the Interceptors will disappear, all the carriers and Tempests will disappear. And that will do it. Reynor closes game 2 out. Install. Sick game. Lost and Found. What a map, guys. What a map. A really fun game between these two. Parabomb does not do friendly fire, no. So, for the people who are confused about the Loco maneuver, it is not truly Loco's maneuver, by the way. I'm sorry to steal Loco's thunder, but Dimaga did it way before Loco did it. But what you can do is drop Parasitic Bomb on all the carriers or the Tempest, whatever. And if you then move your Corruptors on top of these carriers, that means that the Interceptors stay very close to the army that is affected by Parasitic Bomb. And then all the Interceptors get blown up because of Parabomb. Or you click your carriers away, but then you're obviously not shooting at the Corruptors. I can show this one to you guys. Reynor says, this map brings out the dog in me. He's happy with that one. He's proud. Lost and Found is a banger. Great game. Great map indeed. Reynor says that he needs 3 minutes. And he is says be right back. I'm sure Max is okay with that. I'll take a tiny break as well. Instead of sitting here yapping for 3 minutes straight. I've been live for 9 hours and 12 minutes. So I don't really want to sit there and yap for all these minutes. By the time I come back, if you guys have any questions for me, I'll address them. Maybe we should ask one more time about why they're playing on Europe, you know, and why we don't see the other worker thing, or did that work account? That'd be great. I'll take a tiny break and I'll see you guys soon. Game 3, main event, BBB number 75, anniversary edition. It's coming up. Alrighty, I'm back. Reynor is back. Game 3 will also be played on one of the older maps. Why did I put these maps in the rotation? Just for fun, and we only have 6 new maps at the moment, so I had to get creative with either 1 or 3 new maps, and I decided to go for 3 new maps. Or, well, new maps as in old maps, but you guys know what I mean. Data C. Earlier tonight, I mentioned a brilliant build once upon a time by MaxPax. A build so brilliant that even Reynor kind of tipped his fedora to it and said, yeah, that was good. But he made one mistake, and that is that he used it at the wrong moment. It was just in a quarterfinal or a semi-final of the weekly. And even Reynor said it was so smart and clever that he should have used it at a bigger moment like the DreamHack Regionals. And that I agreed with.
Round 3. Fight!
On Data C, we are looking at the main base of the Prince of Denmark representing Storm Gaming. This is MaxPax. In the bottom left side of Data C, we are looking at the main base of the man who said, lost and found brings out the dog in him. He still has it. This is the Italian stallion, Reynor. And Data C. The build that I am referring to, by the way, was a build where everybody was basically playing oracles into blink stalkers. That was just the way to play. And what MaxPax did is that he opened up oracles. He made like 1 phoenix or 1 void ray into oracles. Made 2 stalkers in the natural. Made 2 more stalkers right when Reynor his Zerglings ran by at the 3rd. But he was actually playing an 8-gate Zealot +1 all-in. And at that point, no one had really done it. He sold it so well. Every single scout, it looked like Reynor was just playing against Stalkers as always. And while Reynor only had Zerglings to deal with those Stalkers, suddenly 20 Zealots with +1 showed up. And obviously, if you only have a couple Lings and Queens, yeah, there's just nothing you can really do at that point. It was incredibly well disguised. It really was a beautiful build, beautiful execution. And one that will stay with me. And it was used on Data C. Rather give me hope for ESL. I don't have any news. ESL has still not had any news. We just keep doing our thing. Keep praying, keep believing. I think it's going to be fine. As I said before, as long as there is no news of the Esports World Cup for other games, there's no reason for us to expect any news. ESL does not have some sort of an obligation to all of us to come up with their own circuit. It all comes down to what gets decided at the Esports World Cup. And I expect that those decisions will be made real soon. And I expect StarCraft to be one of the games that gets selected. Ladder build. Yeah, these days it may not sound that special, but trust me, if you were there that night, the way that MaxPax sold it, the way that everything he showed to Reynor made him believe that it was A, but it was actually B. It was awesome. Reynor was actually with me back then in the Netherlands because he was taking, I don't know, maybe he had internet issues at home, PC issues, or I don't know what it was, but he had to be here for a bit, and we spoke about it. And even Reynor, he gave Max all the props and the credits. He was like, yeah, that was really good. But it was just the wrong moment. It's an adept stalker into oracles, as Reynor is just droning up, has decided to take the triangle. I think that's the base that most Zerg players took as their 3rd. Once in a while they would actually expand in a horizontal manner, but apparently not today for Reynor. That's most likely going to be the 4th. That was obviously a day and age where MaxPax was really good, but he wasn't quite looked at in the same way as we currently look at him. At this point, we know that he's an absolute animal. Back then, the potential was there, the signs were there, but he was still a very clear underdog when he would play against the likes of Reynor, Clem, etc. These days, we know that Max has what it takes to throw down. Oracle could activate Pulsar Beam and battle that Spore Crawler, because Spore Crawlers may deal more damage now, but they have less HP. But MaxPax does not want to waste his time on that Spore, decides to still look for damage in the main and natural, but it's not pointless. It's obviously always good to look for it, but you're just not gonna get a lot done. Once the Spore is out, you're not gonna get much done. Follow up is a Twilight Council and a Forge for Max. Wouldn't it be cool, by the way, if he does that exact same build? That'd be something, no? Well, Reynor probably still thinks about it as well. We do have +1 melee on the way. I have never met MaxPax, no. I'd love to. If I ever have the chance, I'll absolutely will. But no, I've never met him. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know where he lives. Other than that, it's somewhere in Denmark. Other than that, I know nothing. So far, MaxPax getting 4 drones. Honestly, is not bad. Against these spore crawlers, at basically one shot. He is gonna hit us, guys. With zealots and +1. So far, he has just shown us a couple of adapts. It is very important for Reynor that in the near future he either gets a roach one or a baning nest. Because if Reynor only stays on +1 Zerglings, then everybody will believe that this was a replay cast after all. Because how could it be humanly possible that I was talking about this and it's happening? Reynor really needs to get a roach one or a baning nest soon, guys. Otherwise he's in trouble. Here comes the Zergling. Reynor sees a zealot. Hasn't really seen anything else. Drops the baning nest immediately as energy recharge gets used. Trying to keep up, but I don't know what you guys are yapping about. Got a double spore crawler in the main. It's going to be very difficult for these oracles to find anything there. Reynor, his Zergling count is high. We've got 42 links out on the map. Hydralis then got warped in as well. These zealots don't have +1 yet. This is a cancel immediately, and these zealots are going to get picked off too. This is a tiny bit sloppy on the side of Max. MaxPax, who's got such a good record against pretty much everyone he plays these days. Even though I gotta give kudos to Shin and Shin, Ragnarok, Shin, whatever you want to call him. Shin has done pretty good against Max lately. He's been able to get a couple of victories that I didn't really expect. Reynor is the one though who's got probably the best record against MaxPax with 9 wins in a row in competitive series. And wouldn't it be impressive if the League of Legends streamer, as that's what they call him on Reddit right now, will be able to make magic happen once more tonight. Here come the Zerglings of Reynor. Reynor is not afraid of these 2 Archons. He feels that this is a fight that he can take, and he's not wrong. As he grabs the Zealots as well, doesn't really lose a whole lot. The Zealots do have +1. It's obviously a very big upgrade. Means they're gonna do better against Lings, yeah, but not in these numbers. This is way too many Zerglings. Everywhere we look, there are too many Zerglings on the side of Reynor. I'll say MaxPax is struggling a little bit. We don't have Storm yet. We don't have a Robo Bay. Storm now gets fired up, and I wouldn't hate a couple Chrono Boosts because obviously there is high ground. Maybe some micro potential with the War Prism, but it's very important for MaxPax that he gets something that's really good against Hydra, Lings, and Banes. Whether that's Colossus, Disruptor, or Storm, well, let it be. He needs one of those. I believe Denver. I believe Denver too, guys. Storm is halfway done, and that's obviously very big for Max, who's got 2 cannons and only 1 shield battery. A little bit surprising to only see a single battery in this 9-minute game. Just that he does not need more. Archon count pretty high, 5 of them in total. I don't know how I feel. Like, Archons can be good against Hydra Link, but if the Hydra count gets too high, then I kind of just feel that the Archons die before they really get in range. Similar to when the Bio Ball in TVP becomes very large and Zealots just disappear before they really get on top of the army. But if you have a couple Storms to back it up, that obviously changes it. And MaxPax does have a few Storms. This still feels like a very flimsy army. It feels risky to move out with this, but we're not going to question Max. Max knows what he's doing. He also drops a Fleet Beacon. War Prism is going to try to get lucky in the main base, but Spore Crawler is still there on the edge of it. I don't know if you should be on creep, man. This army, it really just relies on the Storm so freaking bad. One of the Archons gets picked off immediately. So far, MaxPax gets away with it. He is funking with my heart. This feels so risky. We got a Zealot run by, but Reynor has a few Banelings left behind, so he deals with this rather easily. MaxPax probably gonna slow things down a tiny bit. Oh, War Prism is in a lot of trouble. Might actually get picked off here by the Hydras. No Hydra dash available yet, but apparently it's not needed. Reynor snipes it down. I always feel like Reynor is map awareness is just so good. And he so often has units in the right spot before he even knows that he really needs them there. He is thinking about setting up a surrounding, but MaxPax has control of the Zelnaga Watchtower. This is a big moment, otherwise Max could have maybe overstepped his boundaries. He could have been overextending. Now he knows about this large swell of Zerglings in the bottom right. No, Reynor knows that MaxPax knows because of the Zealot, and the game will go on. Reynor is moving into Lurkers as MaxPax has his carriers on the way. Obviously a very different kind of carrier game than the previous one. For the first time in quite some time, I kind of feel like the action has slowed down a tiny bit. MaxPax is okay with slowing things down as he is waiting to get some sort of an ROI from all these Stargates and that fleet beacon and the mothership that's on the way. And Reynor is also kind of chilling because he's got his hands on Hive. He's gathering up a bit of a bank. Got Hydra Dash, by the way, finishing up. Stasis trap lands on a couple of these Hydras and a single Lurker. It is important for Reynor, obviously, that he makes sure that he's got enough NTR. It's been a little while since Reynor's been in the main base or has seen anything. The only thing that he has seen up to this point is Archons, Immortal Storm. He's gotta know that if Max is not attacking at all, if nothing's happening, that an air transition could be on the way. As MaxPax has split up his army. Main army in the bottom right, but there is potential for a tactical recall as he tries to get on top of this hatchery. Few storms will land on the Zerglings. I want to say I think the Lurkers and the Hydras can keep this hatch safe for a little while longer, not forever. As now the mothership gets scouted by all these Zerglings. One Archon is chasing an Overlord. That Archon is living in his own world. I like that Archon. MaxPax is waiting for the right moment to go for this. Is not something you can run into. That's way too many Lurkers. I know we've seen Protoss players sometimes be successful. Here comes that tactical recall, but Reynor has a forest of spines. The Zerglings thought about surrounding this, but I think that army is a little bit too powerful. I'm just kind of worried that Reynor does not have enough anti-air at the moment. I see 12 Hydras, plus 2 missile attacks on the way. There is Hydra Dash, but that's already 3 carriers and a mothership, guys. It kind of feels that Reynor needs a little bit more. Reynor thinks about a counterattack, but there are cannons and batteries. 4 days. Here on day, let's see, both players have a lot of money, mostly minerals, though not too much gas in the bank. Reynor is setting up perhaps a bit of a surround. MaxPax is aware of it. And he's just going to move his army away. Kind of soft-containing Reynor at this point on 4 bases after denying the 5th. Or killing it, rather. Meanwhile, MaxPax, of course, is a 5-base Protoss. So all of this has netted into MaxPax, creating a 1-base advantage for himself as he feels that Reynor has moved a lot of units away. Maybe there's a tiny opening to be found. Any spellcasters yet for Reynor? Nope, it is 19 Lurkers. Max is gonna have a hard time getting home at this point. Little Zealot run by the way, at an exposed base, where we complimented Reynor earlier on always having units in the right position. This time there is a tiny opening. Lurkers are not on hold position. And they will alert MaxPax that this is where the army is. Carrier count is at 6. Not all 6 of them are here. Reynor now coming in from the bottom left too. MaxPax is wondering how he can make this army sync up with the other army. MaxPax says, you're not flanking me, I might be the one flanking you. But Reynor obviously sees that coming and moves his main army away. It's a very scary dance that these two are having. That's a lot of interceptors going down. I don't know, like, for who is this good? It's scary. It feels that both of their armies are pretty devastating. I think especially near cannons and batteries. Reynor now might feel there is an opening over here on the right side. A couple of the Lurkers are in range, and that's going to give the Hydras the backup. And Reynor moves his Lurkers even deeper. There are Zealots on top of a hatchery in the bottom side. That hatchery is going to fall. So MaxPax once more brings Reynor back to just 4 bases. But Reynor is now on top of one of the bases of Max as well. So it might be 4 against 4. As Reynor has split off a lot of Hydras. Hydra Dash? Dash them, Reynor. Show us that Hydra Dash. We know he's got it. Maybe he already used it to get the units over here. Zealots in the end will go back to work on the Queen. The Queen falls, but that at least allows Reynor to once more pay attention to his main army. That's on the other side of the map. Reynor does know that this base is there. He's seen the cannons. Very tense. Feels like it's a very tense, high-stakes dance between these two as the banks just get larger and larger. Reynor, is this the play? I kind of feel that MaxPax can jump on this army, but the Tempest gets picked off, and now MaxPax decides to change his mind. And it's more important to keep this base alive, but Reynor is making life hell right now for Max, as Max is not totally certain what he needs to pay more attention to. Is it this army, or is it the army on the left? Reynor's army just feels massive. The 128 army supply is really showing as he kills the cybernetics core, and that means that these carriers and Tempest will only work with +2 for a long time. Reynor turns around, feels that he can kill the mothership, uses Hydra Dash. Hydra Dash coming in from the bottom left as well, and a lot of the interceptors are dying. MaxPax got 5 High Templars, but they are nowhere to be seen. But yeah, +2 carriers just don't really care. I'm still worried that Reynor, his anti-air is not strong enough, that the carrier count is too high. I don't think you kill 6 carriers with +2 when your Hydras only have +1 carapace. It was a cool attempt there by Reynor, but carriers is just very good, especially with an upgrade advantage. Few Zealots run on top of this triangle base of Reynor, but that's where we had all the spines, all the spores, so Reynor's got time to react. Pretty sick game. The mothership did get picked off, but I don't think that was necessarily the best trade, because Reynor lost a lot of Hydras there. Hydras ain't that cheap. Probably, yeah, being it. I think they just missed the meme. They're like, Roddy worked so hard on his -400 meme. He's so proud of it. Let's bring it back. There are 33 Hydras on the map for Reynor. Don't do it. But I want to do it. As Max is wondering if there is something to be gained here. One of the spore crawlers does get picked off. The lurkers are pushing the ground army away. There are 8 Dropolords, by the way. This is a really high level series. And honestly, the other day I said I'm a bit worried if PvZ turns into nothing but cannons, Tempest and batteries. I'm not going to love it. I'm definitely loving what these two guys are showing us tonight. MaxPax is now going up to 6 base, by the way, as Reynor moves in with the Hydras. Hydra Dash, it's so quick, it's almost blink. But Storms will push that army away real quick. A couple of the interceptors are going down. Only 25 of them remain. That's obviously something that MaxPax has to keep in mind. Reynor maybe overstays welcome there a little bit as he has gone for that invasion of Dropolords. We mentioned the 8 Dropolords. And at this point, MaxPax is probably wondering, what the hell? How do you have so many units? As he's gone for, I thought a recall, but I don't see it. Now we see another recall. Here's the big one. And that means a lot of Hydras will melt, the Lurkers will melt, and Reynor is losing a very expensive army. And this is a war of attrition. That's just not going to end well for Reynor, even if he's feeling, or even if he's doing a lot of damage. And he's definitely making stuff happen as he does sniper carrier. Like, MaxPax has just outexpended him. This base has been up and running for the entirety of like the last 9-10 minutes. Obviously, MaxPax now getting his hands on the top left as well. Maybe if Max runs out of High Templars, there is an opening for these Hydras. As we're getting some Infestors on the way as well. As that'll run by the bottom side, the action does not stop. Reynor continues to move up this ramp, but Hydras are too expensive to be bleeding them out like this. And after 19 minutes of Data C action, it is a MaxPax who takes the 2-1 lead. Keeping those 4 bases up and running, getting his hands on the 5th. And obviously doing a great job in denying that 5th base of Reynor. Well, first killing it, and then just denying it over and over again. Beautiful play coming out of these two. And Hydra Dash is awesome, but no amount of Hydra Dash is going to save you if your opponent has Storms and Carriers and an upgrade advantage. Thank you, Longfellow mate, for the 101 months. Sick. Yes, apparently that was MaxPax's map choice, so now it's up to Reynor to figure out what he would like to play in map 4. We're very fun games. Definitely can't say that these have been poor quality games. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to look at. Thank you, by the way, to Pi for gifting a sub, to Akuma, I don't know if there was a story there, but I may have missed it. There is a mapu. It is the 6 new maps, and then Data Sea, Dragon Skills, and Lost and Found. But because we are playing on Europe, since we don't want to see them play on US Central, or we would actually play on the PTR, they would be forced to play on Central, then the games would be worse quality. We're playing on Europe, and that means that we cannot have Game Mart, and we also cannot play on Snowpiercer and Amy, because those 2 maps have not been uploaded to the European server. So it became a 7-map pool. 7-map map pool, and I guess that means we have Dragon Skills left, and then a few of the new ones. Ultra Love is left. Whispers of Gold is left. So it will probably be one of those 2. What even is the 33 meme? It's a F1 reference, Maples. There's a Dutch driver that entered F1 8 years ago. He is now widely considered to be the greatest thing to ever happen to F1. The greatest man to ever drive a car. And he started off with number 33. He's now number 1 because if you're the champ, you can change your number to number 1. Kidding, Jeremy. Kidding, mate. That's banter. TLDR Maples, it's a reference to Max Verstappen. He started off his career driving as car number 33. Who got you that view in the background? We got it, as in we, Vicky and me, together. I liked it. There was a choice between that one and a slightly different one that was bigger, but I just liked this one more. I thought it looked cuter. It is a best of 5, Kiryu. No. I like my Canada mug. Alright. Map 4 will be played on one of the maps that I mentioned earlier. It is Whispers of Gold. Personally, my favorite of the new maps. Let's hope it is more of the same. And can this man snap the streak against that Italian boy that has had his number? Over the last 9 times they played a best of 3 or longer against one another.
Round 4. Fight!
In the bottom right side, 1 map away from snapping that streak and showing us perhaps the real power of Protoss on this patch and on this map pool. Representing Storm Gaming, playing one hell of a series so far, it is MaxPax. In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of the Italian Stallion. We haven't seen a whole lot of his Zerg lately, but I'm certain that we're going to see a bit more of it soon. And a few of the tournaments coming back. And obviously we all are excited to see him do what he does best. And that is swarm the nerds out there. It is BASILISK Reynor. His Terran is fun, his Protoss is great. But Reynor will always be a Zergie. And it's most fun to see him play Zerg. Thank you to Arjun for the 25 months saying great games. I totally agree. And shout out to Loof for the 43 months. I saw the picture with, I think it was Lumi, but it could have been the other one. Big fan, Loof. Big fan. I hope the puppies are doing great. Hope Lambo is doing great. Not gonna lie, I actually love seeing the mothership be relevant again. When I saw it the other day, I wasn't the biggest fan, but the way that MaxPax was using it in the last game and so far throughout the series, yeah, I do kind of like it. I think overall recalls can be cool, as long as it's not like Omega broken, and I don't think it is. It's a very nice tool for Protoss to have. It is annoying for Zergs, for sure. I think as a Terran, I don't think it matters that much, but I think for Zergs it definitely can be very annoying. Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. So far, I'm not hating it. I definitely I think it's cool. And it does allow for some great plays. It also prevents some of these like ultimate stalemate scenarios, right? Where it's just like, alright, this is my army and my cannons, that's your army and the spores, and we look at each other. Any game where it turns into like one player having 13,000 minerals and 9,000 gas and the other guy having 9k, 8k, I kind of hate that stuff. I understand that you can't always be fighting 24/7 and can't always be a 200 mineral bank or less, but I don't need to see these games with 5-digit bank numbers. It's just silly. Couple thousand minerals here and there, that's okay. Sometimes you need it, you need to rebuild, you need interceptors. I don't want to see these 10k plus games where nothing happens. And maybe the mothership helps preventing some of that. Huh. Hello, Aegis. Good evening. What a Friday, guys. Almost a 10-hour stream. Not bad for an old man. You guys are wondering, do you feel it, Roddy? Oh, I feel it. This used to be way easier many years ago. But it's been really cool. I've had a lot of fun. I enjoyed basically everything we did today. This energy recharge got used there. Max switching it up maybe a little bit, guys. It's not obviously Void Rain to Oracle. It's not multiple Oracles immediately. One Oracle. And MaxPax even showed, like, hey, I'm using energy recharge. Like, I'm going to look for that damage. But the follow-up is a very quick Twilight Council and 3 more gateways. And it is important for Reynor that he's sharp here. Could indeed be Resonating Glaive Adept. Small chance that we're dropping a Templar Archives for Archons. Oh, it's Blink. Okay. So, a bit of a Goblin special here, perhaps. One Oracle with energy recharge into very quick Blink. Yes, all the games that we always cover in the Big Brain Bouts will be uploaded over at the BASILISK YouTube channel. If you guys do !BASILISK. I don't know when these games will be posted, but they will definitely be posted within the next few days. And that's where you guys can watch everything back. All 75 editions of the Big Brain Bouts have been posted there. All the matches of the boys in the WTL have been posted there. So if you're ever bored and you want to watch some StarCraft, there's a lot of StarCraft to be watched over at the BASILISK YouTube channel. Shout out to Mini Munster. Reynor is dropping a Roach Warren, and the Stalkers are already on their way. This is obviously a big scout for Reynor, but yeah, I mean, it's better late than never, but never late is better. As now the Overlord is going to get picked off as well. Blink is 80% done. Stasis Trap, he is going up. This is where Reynor needs to do what he does best, and that is buy a little bit of time. Great activation down that Stasis Trap, but only a single Zergling. That's obviously very good. A couple of Roaches do get built. The Zergling count is pretty high. We're working with 34, 36 Zerglings, give or take. More Overlords might get picked off. That's very annoying, as Reynor is already close to being supply blocked. This is one of these builds, though, where it does kind of feel there isn't a whole lot defending for Max. So if Reynor is gonna find a bit of damage. Yeah, I love that he sends just a single Zergling. Taking a little look, seeing what is up. Sees a couple workers attacking it. He can now send the additional links. MaxPax supply block there as well for a split second. Well, actually for a bit longer than a split second, I believe it was. The follow-up is a +1 Zealot charge. It's an interesting build by Max. I don't know. Maybe he hoped that like Reynor would have nothing, then he would have gone all out with the Blink Stalkers. But since Reynor did kind of see the Stalkers move out, Max changed his mind. Third base, by the way, is wide open now for the Zerglings of Reynor. Shield battery not quite done yet. Yeah, there is. Oh, that's great SimCity. That's actually really good SimCity. A single Adept on hold position and a pylon will actually keep it safe. Now the Zerglings have turned around. They tried to get on top of the Stalkers as the Roaches were coming in from the top left. But a big Stasis Trap for MaxPax is going to freeze up a lot of the supply. I'm surprised that Max's supply is so low. Like, I mean, sure, he hasn't killed any drones. He did kill a couple of Overlords. He did force out a lot of units, but Stalkers are expensive. We did make a second Oracle eventually. This energy recharge gets used once more. The more Pulsar Beam. Well, overall, I mean, the fact that Reynor is up 42 army supply is quite serious. MaxPax only on 3 bases. I feel like Reynor is playing quite solid over here. A single Creep Tumor does get picked off. One Oracle drops a Revelation. Reynor has a mixture of Zerglings and Roaches at the bottom side. Looking to get a cancel on the 4th. Does not want to reveal that he has a lot of units here. So he just splits off. I love that Reynor has done this now multiple times. Maybe the first time he could have clicked in all the links, but something we can see, not something Reynor can see. But I think that's kind of cool. Not giving MaxPax the heads up that he's got a bunch of Roaches and links here when Max doesn't know about it. Kinda feels that Reynor is gearing up for some good old lair attack aggression. A silly amount of roaches, ravages, and zerglings. As MaxPax is scouting here with an oracle, sees that this gas has not been taken. Couldn't quite see the left side gas. Here comes the swarm. It's 131 army supply. Energy recharge gets used one more time. Storm is not quite done yet. MaxPax cannot defend all 4 bases right now. I think that's simply impossible. Without Storm being done, it is seconds away from finishing up. MaxPax is just in so much trouble, I think. Maybe the stasis trap. Those storms are good, but here come the Zerglings and Roaches from the bottom. That forces Max to morph every single High Templar he has into Archons. These Archons cannot move. That means these Archons will melt. The Oracles with Pulsar Beam are definitely helping out a little bit. But Reynor is going to reinforce this for a long time with more Roaches, more Links. It is important for Reynor that it gets a little more than just a cancel on the 4th base, just a grab on these Archons. I think it's looking good for Reynor, but he's definitely not there yet, as the Stalker count is climbing at a pretty rapid pace. And Link Stalkers mean business, and these Oracles will have energies for days. And Reynor's got no anti-air here. MaxPax is so full of confidence that he actually wipes in the 4th base again. You'd almost wonder, isn't that a little bit too early? But with another energy recharge, that has been used like 4 times now. He thinks that these Oracles will just help out enough to let the Stalker stabilize eventually. And even though MaxPax was down 70 supply, is still down 40 supply. He is confident that that cannon, the battery, the Stalkers can make the difference here. The Nexus is starting to run a little bit low, but the Roaches can't quite click on it. And Reynor is bleeding out so many Roaches at this point. The Prince of Denmark has help. With or without a whole lot of additional storms, with or without those Archons, he is going to hold. He's going to snipe those final Roaches. The Queen showed up late. And the Oracles, man, it's a shame that we can't see the amount of damage that an Oracle has dealt. But they put in some work. And now Reynor is in all sorts of trouble, as he is just a lair attack Zerg without lurkers, without a Hydra den, without great upgrades. I almost feel like the only way that he can win this is if MaxPax does something very silly. But MaxPax doesn't do silly things very often. How many kills on the Oracle? I mean, those numbers might not be that impressive, but the damage they dealt is definitely impressive. 19 on the left one, 10 on the right one. But just the fact that they're there non-stop pushing damage on those Ravagers so that the Stalkers don't have to get too far forward is massive. Energy recharge really did make a very big difference there. And perhaps if the Queens were there a bit earlier, if the Queens were there when the Roachling Ravager army was still big, Reynor could have turned that into a bigger success. Now he's gonna have to make magic happen with basic Zerg units against the Protoss army that's only growing bigger and is becoming more intimidating. No opening to be found there as the Roaches do snipe an Archon. There's an Immortal, there's a battery. The Oracles are here again. Zealot count is getting up there. Supply looks good for Reynor, but this is one of these moments where the supply does lie. You cannot look at these numbers and be like, wow, Reynor is winning, right? Like, no. With just Roaches, +1 missile attacks, no infestation pit yet, no hive tech, Zerg is not winning. That doesn't mean they can't win. They can obviously always win if the Protoss does something wrong. But at this point, Reynor is not winning. And I can guarantee you guys that Reynor knows that. And it's just a far inferior army. MaxPax got the upgrade advantage, he's got the tech advantage. And at this point, I would even say he's got the income advantage. This is obviously a 4-base Protoss. Sniping a couple Ravagers. Confident enough to drop a fleet beacon. We've got a War Prism sneaking to the left side of the map. Reynor does have some creep that can maybe buy some time frame. The Ravagers could snipe the War Prism or the Queens or a Spore. That would obviously give him some time, because I don't think Max would move out without one. This is a big moment for MaxPax, not because of the damage that these Zealots are going to deal, but seeing that Hive Tech is on the way, that it's not done, seeing that there aren't like a whole lot of spores and spine here. It gives you a very good idea of where you're at in this game. You probably already knew because it's MaxPax. It's always nice to confirm things. 4 Zealots will get on top of a very exposed hatchery as a couple of storms keep this Zerg army at bay. Mothership on the way. The double forge of Max is spinning. We're probably corner boosting those upgrades. And Reynor needs the surround of a lifetime. Would have been nice if he would have taken out these rocks. Something like that. Reynor has a lot of supply. I don't really know where it is. Some of it is in production, some of it is morphing, some of it is dealing with Zealots in the top right. Queens are keeping track of that War Prism. I'm honestly surprised that we get to see Hive Tech Reynor, maybe some Vipers, maybe some Lurkers. It didn't look like it a while ago. I still think Reynor is in trouble, and I'm sure that Reynor knows that he's in trouble. Because he is going to end up losing this 5th base. Roaches and Ravages on Creepers, another Stasis Scrappy gets warped in. Does get picked off by Crucible. Seems like the War Prism got picked off, and a couple of the Zealots will get dealt with by the Queens. The Reynor splits off some Roaches to deal with this, but he also has to micro against his army. There are storms covering every single drone. Ravages, Roaches, and 50 supply just disappears. And that will be all. The streak of the Italian Stallion over the Prince of Denmark is over, as MaxPax shows us that Protoss on the PTR, it's not too bad. As a reporter once upon a time said to Djokovic, not too bad. Exceptional play obviously coming out of Max. I think Reynor had a lot of good moments too. Fun series, just very high level StarCraft. I think the kind of stuff that we are looking for. Great hold with the Oracles, recharge over and over again. Great hold with the Stalkerinos obviously. Very well done. I really enjoyed that series. I hope you guys did too. That was fun. Following since 5 minutes ago, and you're out of here. Well done. That didn't take very long, mate. Really good StarCraft 2 on the Friday night. Big thanks to Max for playing. Big thanks to Reynor for playing. Of course, we all know that Reynor has been playing a lot of League of Legends lately, that he took a bit of a break. He made a YouTube video about it. He went over all of it. I still think that we are going to see great things coming out of Reynor. Perhaps in the near future, maybe it will take a little bit longer. But our boy ain't done yet. But tonight, it is MaxPax's night. And it's nice. After Reynor winning like 9 times in a row, it is nice for MaxPax to also get the dub. Bring Serral. If Serral knows that any given moment, I can guarantee you guys this, Serral knows that on any given moment, if he ever wants to play MaxPax, I will be trembling from excitement and I want to see it. But obviously we can't force anybody. But the day that Serral wants to play Max, they'll be playing immediately. Even if I have to put it up myself, guys. Well, I'll keep on trying for that. That is going to do it. Alright, GG's on Battle.net. Shout out to Indy for helping out and hosting the lobbies tonight and getting the version going. Shout out to all 8 gamers. We can take a little look at Liquipedia one last time. We'll settle that channel point prediction, obviously. As I know, a lot of you guys went very big. Great night. Great night of games. A lot of people here as well. That's awesome. Look at us, guys. StarCraft 2, so alive and kicking.